Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Lilo Siegel and I'm pleased to show you certain things all around the theme sewing. This video today is about how you can finish off an edge of a lace material really nice. Of course, you always have the possibility, if you're working with lace, to have the edges that are not finished to be stitched into the seam, or if it's on the bottom or on the sleeve as an example. Of course, you can make a normal hem which is laid over once or twice. But if you've done that before, you also noticed that it doesn't look so nice, because the more open the lace parts are, and if you folded it over, it looks funny when you're looking on top of it, because it does show through. And I show you one possibility that it really looks neat, as if it's been finished off from the way beginning. So why don't you let me show you? Here we go.
To do this my way, you will need to have a string of cotton, if possible, in approximately 3 millimeter widths. It should not stretch, it should be a firm string that you do have. Then you take your material and put the left side of the material towards you. Here you see the finished edge, and here's the edge that's so far only been cut. And now I will stitch this particular string onto the edge of my cut material, leaving approximately 2 millimeters standing over on the right side of the string. So just put this on. But what is very important now, you must be very careful not to stretch your lace out. Therefore, it is best if you measure the part where you like to stitch your string onto, and then cut exactly the length of your string in the same length as the material is. As you can see here, it likes to stretch out. Therefore, you must be sure it stays exactly the right length, as it is approximately when you're putting it very flat down on your sewing table or working table. So you do not stretch it. That would be the way. You have to measure and then measure the same length on the string to make sure you have exactly even the same length at the end after you stitch the string onto your material. So as I said, leave approximately 2 millimeters standing over, put the string flat on your material and stitch it as far on as it's necessary for you. I will only do a little bit here because I'm only explaining and demonstrating all this to you, but I always make sure not to stretch my material out. This really has to be flat. Otherwise, you won't be successful with the job you're doing. So I'm not doing any farther than this. And now, with this particular part, I will go to my overlock. If you do not have an overlock, of course you can do this with any kind of seam foot that you have on your normal machine, or you take a zigzag stitch, which will work just as well with the same technique as what I'm showing here to you. As long as you got it prepared like this, and you put on your zigzag machine a very tight stitch and a width also of approximately 3 to 4 millimeters, and then this will be perfect for you. So as you can see now, I'm sitting down here on my Ovation baby lock to do this turnover seam called, we call it Rollsaum. I don't know what you really call it, but I have my material, the right size facing upwards. My little tape that I just added onto this edge is on the bottom underneath, as you can see here. And now I'm just doing this particular part, going along exactly on that edge, cutting a little bit, even like a 0.5 millimeter of the edge off. And more or less now my seam will cover up the string that are stitched on earlier on, and the same would happen if you do it with your zigzag machine, because that is what's holding the edge really nicely firm together. And I'm sure if you do choose the right setting on your machine for the zigzag, you will more or less get the same effect as what I'm getting here doing it with the baby lock. Like I said, just go along the edge. If you only use a zigzag machine, it automatically will also slightly pull the sides and the edge together because of this little string you stitched in earlier on. So here you see the result of it. It's really flat, and you can see now it's covered up my string underneath, and it's holding it firm, all in position, and it looks as if it's meant to be like that from the way beginning with a finished edge. But to be honest with you, why I'm showing this to you is actually for another reason, which I come to now. I bought this finished lace part a while ago and wanting to make a top with it later on. But I realized right away when I received it that it's actually a little bit too tight for me on the neck, or better to say, I don't like it very much if the clothes of a t-shirt, a tunic is all the way up to my neck. I like it more open in the front. So I had to think of a certain way how to get this nicely done for me so it still looks as if it's really been meant like that from the way beginning. With other words, I want to cut the middle a little bit open in the front and use exactly that technique that I just showed you to finish the front off. Because it is also, if I have a normal back stitched onto this part now, it would also be a little bit too tight without a zipper or an opening in the back to get the part over the head. So that means there is another reason why I would like to cut this front piece open, as I will put a normal height in the neck on this shirt, on this tunic, which I will make later out of this. So here I go. I must cut this part in the middle open. So what do I have to do? First of all, I have to decide how far do I want to cut this front up. About so long, I decided. And again, I have to take my little ribbon and stitch this first of all exactly on the lengths on both sides on where I would like to cut it open. So again, I will go to my sewing machine. I will turn my part so the left side is facing me, and I take my cotton string that I have and will stitch it exactly in the length from the top down to approximately where I want to cut it open, and I also stitch it on towards the top. And in between I leave approximately 2-3 millimeters between the tape when I'm stitched this on, and I show you in a moment what that looks like. And here you can see I've been to my sewing machine. I stitched my little string on down around the corner on the bottom and back up. And now I have to be very brave and cut it right in the middle between the two strings that are there open. And of course on the bottom I turned the string around. I didn't cut it through. I left it as one piece. There you go. And now I gotta go again to my overlock, or you to your zigzag, and go along the edge, and this time from the right side exactly as I showed it to you on the little part which I explained it on first. And here already is the result for you. I've been on my overlock, or my cover lock better to say. I went along the edge. This is the left side. Here you see the string, and when I turn it so you face the proper side, the right side of the material, you see as I kept it all in position, I didn't stretch it out because I got my tape in there, and that means all the parts that should fit there together in the pattern that is in the part, it all is perfectly exactly as I wanted it. Well, I hope I could give you a little idea on this particular job how to work with lace and with edges. And I wish you a good time again. I'm looking forward to get some comments from you. I must say, I'm a little bit sad. You English watching video people do never like to give me any comments. I'm so sorry about this. Okay, that's enough fun for now. I wish you a good time. Stay healthy and please come around again. I say goodbye. Tschüss.